This is Andrew Alia, and you are listening to Line for Line Podcast.
Everyday profit and win. When you get the money invested, watch who you bring in your circle, cause people is sick and infested. Make sure you keep your direction. When you look in the mirror, be proud. As long as you doing the best that you can every day, boy, it's easy to smile. Talk to the Lord and pray. Make sure your faith is strong. Just like perfume and cologne, when you stepping out, make sure you putting it on. Laugh in the face of defeat. If you gotta cry, homie, cry. If you gotta hide, homie, hide. If you gotta ride, homie, ride. I grew up with no one to hold. So many nights I was...
All right, and just like that, we're back in another special episode of Line for Line. I'm your host with the most, Devon Booker. We have a very special guest in the building. I'll let him introduce himself to the world.
I'm Andrew Alia. I went to St. Joe's, or I still go to St. Joe's. I'm a senior. I just committed to Drake 3 days ago. I played basketball, football, and soccer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
3 sports.
Yes, sir.
See, now you're just teaching me something new. Just tell us a little bit about what that was like to play 3 sports and still function at a high academic level as well.
It was difficult. It definitely had its moments of like, this might be too much. But then just playing with the guys and competing. Did you play like high school sports?
Yes, sir. Yep.
You know that feeling, just competing with your brothers, your best friends. Like, you can't trade that for the world, especially not about like worrying about studying or something. Like,
yeah. Just tell us a little bit about that special season that you guys had at St. Joe's for your senior year.
Yeah, so we went to we won the regional championship, and we fell to MAS in the sectional semis, who were a good team, but we probably should have won that game. But it was a good overall season. Definitely changed the culture from my freshman year when we were like under 500 as a team, or just at 500. But definitely, it was a special season. We wish we could have done more. Like, there's still those regrets, like, could have done more, should have done more. But I'm just grateful it happened.
Yes, sir. Tell us a little bit more about that freshman year, because you were lucky to be on a team where Coach Morris, but 5 freshmen on the team. Just tell us a little bit about what the atmosphere was like and the expectations.
Yeah, so Coach Morris's expectations were no different than if we were freshmen or if we were seniors. Like, everyone had the same expectations. But Coach Morris definitely helped us. His confidence in us, his confidence in us and faith to start 5 freshmen, especially like 4 of us who played together all throughout middle school, just made that transition from middle school to high school basketball just so much easier.
What was the camaraderie like, taking it from middle school to high school with 3 of your close people?
Yeah, so it was special. Yeah, it was fun. Definitely, like, we learned freshman year after taking some beatings from the top teams, that we had to like get stronger, get better, faster, just everything.
Yes, sir. So now just tell us a little bit about how you got involved with basketball, whether that was family or you watched it on TV and you were like, this is what I want to do.
Definitely. So my dad really introduced me to basketball. He's been my coach he was my coach growing up until 8th grade. He coached me. He also was like an assistant on that All-Star game that I just played in, so that was kind of...
Oh, really?
That was kind of special, my last high school game. But yeah, he was the man who introduced me to basketball. And then him so growing up, like, soccer was like... Basketball was my sport, and then went to soccer like to like 4th grade, and then went to some like Marquette basketball camp, like one of those kid ones. And just I was killing. I don't know. Yeah. And then my AAU coach, who is still my present AAU coach. Obviously now I don't play AAU anymore. But Deshaun Robinson. Okay. He would like him, my dad, Ryan Goralski, Coach G. They really just, like, brought basketball in my life and made it special.
Yes, sir. Now, with your dad being the type of special player that he was, coming up around Nick Van Exel and playing back in that era, were there any stories or any things that he was able to teach you specifically when it came to basketball?
Yeah, so he definitely, he helps me, just, like, preaches to me that, like, just be confident, do what you do best, play aggressive. He was more of a shooter. He was, like, a knockdown shooter. He still is in his little rec league he plays at. But yeah, he definitely taught me a lot about the game of basketball.
Yes, sir. What would you say was the most lasting lesson that he's taught you about basketball that stays with you to this day?
Just confidence. Like you can compete with anyone. That's really it. Just confidence stuff.
Now, I was fortunate enough to cover the All-Star game that you played in, but there's maybe some viewers who don't know. But just tell us a little bit about the type of player that you are out there on the court.
I think what makes me a special player is my versatility. I can post you up, get a bucket in the paint, shoot over you, drive by you, and then I also got that sneaky bounce.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yes, sir. Now, just tell us a little bit about what it was like to go D1 and land that commitment for you.
Yeah, so that's obviously something that, like, you dream of growing up. I'm definitely not, like, complacent. I'm not, like, I have higher goals than just playing D1. Like, I want to be, like, a stud D1 player. But it was definitely had my feelings going a little bit. Like, especially, like, how should I say this? Like, the pressure just, like, because I committed late, like, really late. So just, like, when I committed, it was kind of just like, okay, you're good now. Now it's time to take that next step. Because now I go to campus June 5th for summer stuff, and now it's just seizing my opportunities.
Just take us a little bit take us through the commitment process. Like, how was it that you were able to narrow it down to one school?
That was what I struggled with a lot. I'm pretty indecisive, you could say. Like, that was my biggest flaw in the process, is I could not narrow it down. But it was really between Drake, you, and I at the end, and I thought Drake was just the school that showed me the most love. I think the coaches just stood out from day one. I had a better connection with them. They believed in me more. They thought I could, like, develop into the player that they want. So, yeah.
Yes, sir. Now, how often is it that you still spend time working on your game, even though that the basketball season is done for you, with the All-Star game being your last game?
It's constant. Especially, it's like 2 times a day on the court and then lifting weights, just trying to do as much as I can right now.
Now, what was going through your mind when you were out there on the court, knowing that it was your last game and it being an All-Star game, which I would say is high profile to most?
Yeah, I didn't really think about it like that. I just thought about it like, just have fun, play with guys who you grew up playing with, just cherish the moment, and that's all that was my mentality in that game. Just cherish the moment.
How fun was it on a scale of 1 to 10, would you say?
10.
Yeah, because I saw you out there dunking. I was like, man, this guy was going crazy. Just like, tell us a little bit, excuse me, I can't talk. Just tell us a little bit about what comes the most natural to you when you are on the court.
I would say my competitiveness. Like, even in that All-Star game, I was getting on my, like, teammates. Like, I'm not trying to lose this game right now. I don't care if it's an All-Star game. Like, play defense. Stop giving people wide open layups, wide open dunks. Like, get that competitiveness in you.
Yes, sir. Now, with Coach Morris being on the show, it's safe to say I know him pretty well. What would you say you were thankful for the most when it comes to him having the audacity to put 5 freshmen out there on the court and it working, it getting you to the type of player you are now?
I think Brandon did a great job. I think he still is doing a great job at Tremper now. Just the structure he has in his program, the discipline. Like, he's formed people into such disciplined players, my bad.
Yeah.
That, like, they're going to be special when their time comes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, what would you say is the biggest piece of advice that you got from just everyone who has a hand with helping you to get to where you are now? What would be the best piece of advice that stuck with you since then?
The best piece of advice? Definitely my football coach, Coach Rizzo. What he always says is, like, nobody cares, work harder. So, like, whenever I got some accolade or award or something, like, nobody cares, work harder. Like, what's that got to do with 5 years from now? Like,
yes, sir.
Just keep going.
Now, as we get ready to close out an amazing episode, just tell us what you would tell that young man who says, I want to go to the D1 level. I want to compete at the highest level possible.
I would tell him just work at your craft, believe in yourself. But most importantly, like, nobody cares, just work harder.
Yes, sir. Is there anyone out there that you would like to shout out, say hello to? Mom and dad, maybe brother, sister, someone?
Oh, definitely my family. My mom, my dad, my sister, brother, Coach G, Coach Rizzo, and just everyone listening.
And to your college teammates and college coaches, what type of player would you say that they will be getting once you touch down on campus? June 5th, was it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I would just say a winner. Like, I'm just trying to come in there and win, bring that competitiveness, just get better every day. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. That being said, we just wrapped up an amazing episode of Line for Line. We appreciate you for sliding through, sir.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
You calling or you listening, tune in every week. Line for line. Oh yeah, I'm going line for line.